What's going on, guys? My name is Ethan Moore and I'm coming at you with my model airport of YVR Vancouver International. I used to do a model airport of Seattle Tacoma, but I've 3D printed some new buildings and well, I've changed the terminal layout a little bit and most importantly switched out the aircraft. So let's jump into the lineup here, shall we? We've got an homage to the original Seattle Tacoma International Airport. We've got the Honoring Those Who Serve Alaska Embraer E175. This guy's on the stand from Seattle. They no longer fly the Q400-8s with Horizon. It's now mainly the Alaska E175s. But just beside it here, we still have our Q400. We have an Air Canada Q400-8 operated by Air Canada Jazz. This guy's going to be flying down to Portland later today. He is also on the stand. You'll notice that both of our flights so far have been US destinations. That's because we're doing gates D and E. These are US and international departures. Just beside it here, we've got the WestJet 737-800 going to Las Vegas. Beside it here, we have the WestJet 737-700. This guy's going to San Jose del Cabo, and it is just loading up with passengers and some GSE. If we move along down the line here, we've got the Air Canada 737 MAX 8. This is a really nice model made by Gemini Jets, and it's just loading up here with some GSE, and well, it's going to be getting ready to head down to Houston today. Beside the 737 MAX 8, we've got another 737 MAX 8. This guy is the Being United 737 MAX 8. This guy is just getting loaded up with passengers and is going to be heading over to Chicago O'Hare. Beside the Chicago-bound United 737 MAX, we've got another United 737, but this guy is a United 737-800, the next generation. This guy is just loading up with passengers, and he's going to be flying down to Denver. Beside the United 737-800, we have an Aeromexico 737 MAX 8. The Aeromexico 737 MAX 8 is going to be flying down to Mexico City later tonight. We've also got another giant. We've got our Philippine 777-300ER. This guy is going to be loading up with passengers and heading over to Manila later today. So if we'll just come back down the line here, I really like the D&E gates, but let's get into some of the taxiway details. On our taxiway here, we've got an Air Canada Airbus A220. Now this Airbus A220, also known as the CS100, is going to be heading over to Edmonton. That's why it is not at one of our gates today. I really like the A220. It is a really nice looking aircraft. Moving down, we've got a KC-135. The KC-135 has flown into Vancouver before, and well, actually, I've also seen the KC-35 in real life recently at the Abbotsford Air Show. This is the KC-135. The KC-135 is, you might have noticed, quite similar to the 707. The 707 being Boeing's first airliner, produced in the late 1950s. This guy has some renovated engines, so these engines have actually been switched out from the original Pratt & Whitney engines that were put on the 707 airliner. You'll notice that this KC-135 is actually slightly smaller than the 707. The 707 being a little bit more wide, the KC-135 being a little bit more narrow and stubby. Okay, so this is the boom right here. Check this out. We'll go right under it. So this right here is the part of the tail that would retract for fighter jets or other aircraft that need some fuel to connect with. This is the boom. Support boom. Check that out. That's epic. So as you can see, I have a deep founded appreciation for the KC-135. and the 707. And I'm gonna get more into the history of both the 707 and its impact at YVR, because well, it literally had a giant impact on the airport's development, quite metaphorically and literally. But I'm excited to get into a video about that sometime. Anyways, moving further down, we have an Aeroflyer 737-600. This guy is operated by KF Aerospace. He's going to be flying over to Kelowna. Behind him, we have a United 737-900. This guy is going to be headed to Chicago. He is in the United Continental Merger Livery. We actually had 737-900 quite similar to this arrive at YVR not too long ago, operating to Chicago. Behind him, we have an American A321. This guy is going to be headed off to Dallas, and right now American is currently flying the A321 over to Dallas. In front of him, we have Lufthansa A350-900. This guy's in the Clean Tech Flyer livery. I really like this Lufthansa livery. I think the Clean Tech Flyer looks really neat, and I really like the registration of this guy. He actually flew into YVR just after Lufthansa painted the livery in real life. So yeah, I think it's a really cool aircraft. Now, just beside him, we have an Air Canada toothpaste 787. This guy is our 787 Dreamliner-8. And I really like the Dash 8. We see the Dash 8 occasionally in Vancouver. This guy's on the stand to Toronto. You might notice that oddity behind him there. We have the Aloha Air Cargo 737-200. Aloha Air Cargo actually flew into YVR with a 737-400. But for all intensive sake, we're gonna say he flew in from Anchorage on charter. But yeah, I really like the Aloha Air Cargo livery. It was really neat seeing them in Vancouver, and I wanted to include it in this update. Behind him, we've got another interesting aircraft. We have the JetBlue A320. This is in the 10th anniversary livery. I actually bought this aircraft a long time ago off the JetBlue website. I was really interested that they were selling 1/400 scale aircraft, and it was really cool. I picked it up, and I'm really happy I still have it all these years later. So he's going to be going off to Boston. Beside him, we have the TransCanada Airlines Dragon A319. I really like the A319. It's really neat. They still operate it to Edmonton out of Vancouver, so I decided to include this guy in the video. Beside him, we have an Alaska E175 again. This E175, you'll notice, is in the Horizon Retro livery, but still operated by Alaska, and this guy's going to be flying to Portland. In front of him, we have an Air Canada Express CRJ 900, aka the CRJ 705, operated by Air Canada. This guy is going to be headed over to Whitehorse. And just to finalize the tarmac here, we've got a cool little shot overlooking the airport. We've got our Air Canada 787-9 just at the taxiway on holdover from Tokyo. We've got our A220 again, and then beside the A220, we've got a Gemini bus and a Flair 737 MAX. This guy is just on the taxiway holding over from Los Angeles. Beside him, we have another Flair. This guy is another 737 MAX, and it's going to be holding over for Waterloo. But yeah, this is the general overview of the airport. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoy making videos about the airport, and this airport specifically. I wanted to include something I haven't done in a really long time. That was actually exhibit an aircraft landing. Our Air Canada A330-300. This is a personal favorite of mine because I flew on this guy from Toronto Pearson to San Jose, Costa Rica. So I really like the A330, and I really like the A330 in the Air Canada toothpaste livery because that is the A330 I flew on. And you know, they're getting a little older, but I really like it, and you know, I would be willing to bet that if you were to go plane spot at YVR, you could very well see one of these. This guy today is coming in from Montreal, but at the end of every single airport update, I'm going to leave one aircraft overlooked. So, can you guys guess which aircraft we forgot to talk about in this airport update? The answer is the United A320-200 in the Friendship livery. I really like the old vintage United livery, just as much as I like the old Trans-Canada Airlines livery. So I decided to put them together here on the stand. But this guy's just holding on the stand. It's going to head out to Denver tomorrow, down to Colorado. Well, the passengers are going to get some good views over Vail, that's for sure. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the airport update. We will keep in touch, well, if you're interested and you like it, let me know. I'll make some more. Bye for now.